happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
Yeah, to everybody out there and living the dream. Been a while since we've talked with you, but we wanted to get back, and we're being, well, we have a guest appearance with Alfred, who's shaking my hand. This is our godfather, and you probably can't see him here, but he's being all kinds of chilled and all kinds of silly. So we wanted to catch up on something that we've done with the RV, the Newmar, otherwise known as Storm and Norman. So I think in a couple of the videos we mentioned that we had taken out the stackable washer and dryer that were in there, and they were like Maytag, I think.
I think so, yeah.
Whirlpool, Maytag,
Yeah, they were a
like
good
that.
brand.
Yes, a fairly decent brand. And we were actually able to sell them on Facebook Marketplace to a gentleman who really, really needed them more than we did. And we didn't want them in the RV at all, purposely because I think you were looking for more.
I kind of use that cabinet or whatever as a pantry, so gives me a lot more room to put extra water, food, cat litter. God knows we need a lot of cat litter.
Yeah, well, most of the litter's outside.
Yeah.
I think we got the food inside, yeah. But in any event, we've been looking at for some time possibly purchasing a portable dishwasher. And we had thought back as far as our Thor with doing that, and some of the other things that we came across was a portable, and you'll see it coming into view very quickly, a portable side-by-side washer and dryer.
I don't think it's really a dryer.
No?
I think it just, yeah, I don't think it really dries, but it does spin out a lot of the water, so the stuff winds up just damp, really, and dries probably I would say by the next morning, the latest.
Yeah, so anyway, this brand is called ViVo, or ViVo, that we settled on, and we bought it off of Amazon for a very decent price, I think somewhere a little over $100.
I don't remember.
I think it was a little over $100. So we'll call it a portable washer and less wetter, not dryer. But we did a run with it here at the house before we transferred it over to the RV, and you'll see some of the video coming in. So it's a little over 13 and a half pounds, I think they say, and the specs actually say 13 pounds, but I believe that the washer bucket side is about 8 pounds, and they say that the spinner dryer side is supposed to be about 5 and a half pounds. So what we did was some light clothes.
Yeah,
right?
we just did like a couple of t-shirts, some underwear, socks. Now, according to what we read about, you can do jeans, but I wouldn't recommend doing more than one pair at a time. But yeah, we just put a small load in, actually more like tank shirts, washed well, rinsed well, and smelled good, so we knew that they were clean. And then the spinner part, spun it out pretty well, and they recommended, that you could just get these. Remember what it was called?
Yeah, so it's
like
like
a
a
hanger that had multiple little clips
yeah,
on it, so
you'll
you
see
could
it
hang a whole
coming
bunch
above.
of stuff. So we wound up purchasing that as well. And so far, I mean, we only tried it the one time, but it seemed to work pretty well.
Yeah, and it only weighs a little over 24 pounds, maybe like 24.2 pounds or whatever. A couple of handles on it, very easy to move around. But we've actually left it in the RV, but we did the test here. And like Margie's saying, it's for light clothes, right? We don't really wear a lot of jeans and heavy clothes when we
Not
RV.
Florida.
I mean, obviously when we motorcycle, we wear jeans, but we could always walk over to the campground washroom if we needed to. But it really is for mostly the unmentionables and the stuff that.
Stuff.
Yeah, it actually makes it a little bit easier to transfer clothing between home and the RV as well.
Because then you don't have to bring as much. You don't have to worry about running out of underwear or socks or things like that, and they're easy enough to wash.
And again, the fallback would be any campground, washer and dryer area, laundromat, or even a laundromat in town if necessary. But for the most part, we really don't envision that. And this was really kind of a just in case. It's certainly something we didn't need. We had already decided that we didn't need it or want it on board. But for the sake of something a lot less weight, gave us a lot more room. It stores very nicely in the closet next to our air conditioner.
That was 32.
Yeah, you'll see the product specs coming in here.
I think it's like 32 inches by 16 inches. And the wash part does its own thing. The only thing with the spin part is you have to, it'll chug go all over the place, just like the old washers would do if you didn't load them evenly. So all I did was literally picked up everything, put it right in the middle, and it just spun out, and it spun perfectly. It didn't make all a racket or tip over.
Yeah.
Alfred
was impressed
giving
with
you
it
his
as well.
2 cents.
The other thing that we did was to avoid, because our plan is to do this, so you can fill it with a couple of ports on either side of the washer dryer, unit. It comes with a flexible hose that you can attach to a water spigot or whatever. But what we opted to do is, in the RV, is to put it in our shower, and we bought a rubber mat.
Yeah, like a mat that keeps you from slipping, little cushioned, so we don't have to worry about it scratching or damaging the floor of the shower. Yeah, now we use the shower head, which comes off, to fill it. It's easier than hooking it up to a hose, because we don't need to if we get the water right there.
Yeah, so you'll see in some of the video that we're running above here that we fill it to a little bit above the clothesline, and then a very scant amount of.
Yeah, I think it's
So-
like a couple of tablespoons, which really, if you look at the size of it, you really don't need much more than that. But it did seem to. I think we did a double rinse on it though.
We did, yeah.
But it rinsed out well initially. We gave it an extra rinse.
But I think that's the recommendation. I think they suggest a wash,
Yeah.
let it rinse, fill it up again
I
with
don't
water, and
remember
then let it
seeing
rinse
anything
again.
about fabric softener. I guess you could throw some in if you wanted to. I mean, for just the purposes of just having clean clothes, I don't think it's that big a deal.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then, like I said, the spin part, just make sure it's level, and it'll spin out really nice. The
Yeah,
whole
and they do-
process took, what, 20 minutes at the
yeah,
most?
well, what's kinda cool is
didn't take
those
long.
knobs are they're on a timer. So
Yeah.
I think you have 15 minutes max of washer, and then I think it's 5 minutes max of spin dry, and you can run that twice. They do recommend running that twice if you wanted to. But when we took it out after the one run, our theory is this, nothing is about quick, especially the way we're gonna do it in the RV. And if you just plot it out or have a little bit of a plan, I think you'll be fine. So our plan is, when you're doing that inside work, whether she's making dinner or whatever, or we're doing some inside stuff where we're not out, running around or boating or kayaking or whatever, is to do the laundry. But have that plan, take it out, hang it up, and know that I don't need whatever I'm washing at 2 o'clock, I don't need it at 2:30. So just a real simple plan. You probably can't see.
Yeah, and
but
again,
he's
I
just,
mean,
like,
even,
vegging out here.
like you said, timing, but the timing itself, it's a lot quicker than if you had to go to the laundromat, because a wash could take anywhere from, 40 minutes or.
Maybe quicker in the
more.
moment, but probably longer over time, right? Because you probably do more laundry at a laundromat than
Yeah,
you can in this
sure.
thing. Yeah, so maybe it's gonna be every
It's
day,
just
every other day
convenient,
or whatever,
just
but
convenient
yeah.
for us.
Yeah, so our next trip heading out to Texas very shortly, we're gonna give it a run and see how it goes. And, that's after this guy gets done with his dentist appointment this Wednesday. He's gonna, he has not been flossing well, so he's got a couple of cavities that he's gotta have, taken
Well, he
care
was a
of.
stray before we got him, so God only knows what his teeth were into.
Yeah, for sure. So other than that, things are good. Catch up real quick. Margie did have shoulder surgery. She had some calcium deposits. And,
Very large, according to what
Yeah,
the
huge.
nurses were saying.
So in and out, easy peasy, lemon squeezy, right?
Yep.
Maybe about an hour surgery.
Sling off the next day.
Yeah, not a lot of pain.
No, no, God, it's so much better compared to the way it was before the surgery. But afterward, the oxy didn't make me feel good, and I wound up taking it for maybe a day and a half, and then I was just taking Tylenol and an Advil, and it was doing fine.
Yeah, so lots of rushing around. We had to get the RV and get that prepped for that Texas journey. I mean, those of you who RV short distances or long distances, this isn't something you just jump in and go. I mean, this takes
Especially to
almost
Texas.
months to prepare this vessel, if you will. So we had some work done by Be There RV. Matt and Nick are two mobile repair guys that work with us, not really for us, but they certainly work with us, so shout out to those guys. And then my man Ricky Diesel, who's our
Ricky
diesel
Diesel.
mechanic, who does all our diesel work, and then shout out to Nature Coast RV up in Dunellen, who's doing our RV work. But they did a whole bunch of like little fixer-upper things, when we
Yeah.
bought the coach, because it was
There's
older, we
Couple
anticipated
little
some
motors
things.
were out, everything's electric in there, so.
Yeah.
One of the shades didn't work, they replaced the motor, the table didn't work properly, they replaced that motor. But they were pretty timely.
And they were quick, which was kind of cool, and that's
Very
what I said
timely
about
with everything.
preparation. You drive that RV in, and you know, sometimes it takes 6 weeks to get apart, and then all of a sudden you're behind, and it puts the next guy that's doing the next work behind. But this actually all fell into place, which was kind of nice, so super shout out to all those guys. And I think some of that is because I think we have very reasonable expectations. We don't really ask for,
We need
it is
tomorrow.
what it is.
Make it
Yeah, I mean,
happen.
if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, we'll work around it, or if we have to cancel, we do, because it's not certainly their fault that we're, you know, falling behind or the parts aren't available, whatever. So we're gonna give you a quick heads up, when we, when we do that. Yeah, when we do that trip, you'll see some videos coming out. I'm gonna be working with some new editing software, so we'll see how that goes. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. These guys are real excited. They've been on Amazon looking for their cowboy boots and their hats, and, you know, Alfred and Uncle Lonnie are gonna get together, and maybe Lonnie will teach them how to use the whip and the lasso. So we'll keep in touch. Again, happy Mother's Day to everyone, especially those of you who have fur babies, and those of you who have your moms and dads that have left us and now watch over us from heaven. So big shout out to everybody there. And what else?
See you next time on the road.
Yeah, or on the side of the road. Maybe not. All right, until then, guys and girls, keep living the dream, and we will talk to you soon. As always, smash that like button, subscribe, share the channel. We're doing really well with growing the channel. We're not too excited about, you know, being, you know, public figures anytime soon. We just want to share some information and maybe
Just try to
have
help
you guys,
people out.
yeah,
you know?
and maybe get a laugh, because we're really crazy with 10 cats. And, you know, one of them hiding right here. All right, so until then, we will talk to you soon. Keep living the dream.
Ciao.